have here is a 1994 Macintosh Powerbook 520C that is really dirty. Hang on, I'll be back in a second with that clean. There we go, nice and clean. And like I said, it's from 1994 or so. It is the 520C. You can see very quickly that the design is a radical departure from what Apple was using before this on their PowerBook 100 series laptops. A 180 sitting right there. In fact, it's so radically different. Keyboard's different, the chassis design is different, and the power button is actually no longer behind the port door, as it was on the PowerBook 100s, which made that a very big inconvenience. In fact, speaking of ports, let me show you what it has for ports. There's nothing on this side except for a battery, which, by the way, this machine has 2 batteries. They are the M1906 models. They look like this. There are 2 of them. These 2 are both stone dead and are in need of a rebuild, which I will probably do at some point. So there's nothing on that side except for a missing screw. That wasn't missing when I got the machine. I think the screw is actually up there on my sort of thing there. On the back, we have a Kensington lock. We have the optional telephone modem, which is really weird because this came out of a school. This came out of an educational environment, so you wouldn't expect to see a telephone modem used there, but who knows. We have an HDI 30 SCSI, which is, of course, the 30-pin oddball. I don't have a connector for it. We have the monitor adapter, which actually takes a special kind of adapter that I don't have. The Ethernet adapter, in fact, I actually have a couple of adapters for that. In fact, here is an example of one. I got 5 of these. I have 3 left because 2 of them were busted. And one of them I got was really dirty, and it was like, well, there's no way this works, and it didn't. But this is a Apple Ethernet twisted pair. The technical term is a transceiver. That's what these are. It is model number M0845. In case you were wondering, that's the Apple part number. This is indeed the Apple OEM. It could be cleaner. It's definitely a little yellowed. I don't know how well the yellowing is showing up on camera, but it's definitely yellowed. Connector on the end looks like this, and it simply plugs in like that. So it just pulls out. You can see that it is actually missing one of its little prongs. Ouch. See right there. It's missing one of its prongs, which is really sad. Anyways, we have an ADB port. The inputs and outputs for the audio, it's actually a headphone and microphone. And I believe that is Apple Serial. And of course, we have the port for the power brick, which I will not unplug because this thing has a dead clock battery that is dead to the world. Will have to be replaced when I feel like getting this thing apart and desoldering it. I'm just really lazy. You can see underneath the keyboard, there's the hard drive. It is a 240 megabyte IBM SCSI drive. You can also see the keyboard. It's radically different than that of the PowerBook 100. The first difference you'll notice, well, obviously, is the power button right there. But the second difference you'll notice are the function keys. And you'll also notice that the escape key is up there instead of right here. Difference is from a modern keyboard, well, really, there's only 1 or 2. There's no actual functions, second function keys. It's just these function keys, and that's the only function keys you have. And the fact that these arrow keys are all in a row. Oh, and the separate enter and return. I don't think Apple does that anymore. I think Apple just has a return key. Hinges on this machine could be better. I mean, these particular ones are coming apart. As you can see, I'm going to take a look at that. But it doesn't really affect the hinges. There's a microphone there underneath the Apple logo. It has a, I believe, that is a 10.1 inch passive matrix color dual scan LCD. It's a DSTN, dual scan twisted pneumatic. I think is what that stands for. It might stand for dual super twisted pneumatic or something really weird. I know it's a DSTN, but you have your software. Brightness and contrast. Well, actually, no. Those might be hardware brightness and contrast. But it's not like the hard slider switches. They're just up and down keys, and it's controlled entirely in software. Seen as a 520C, which means it's the color version. The 520, which was the grayscale version of this. These were the first in a lineup of 500 series computers that replaced the 100 series. Ultimately, they replaced the 100s and the Powerbook Duos. Maybe they offered the Duos at the same time. Again, this is a little dirty, so I'll clean that. Much cleaner. Oh, you missed a spot. You missed a spot. The bullet-style hinge design, really different than the hinges of the 180, even though it looks pretty similar. In fact, these were actually probably even better than the design of the 180. The one thing you'll notice about this keyboard is the lack of wear. There is some, I mean, if you take a look at it closely, some of these keys here, like these, right there, the more used keys on the keyboard, there is wear. There is a little bit of glazing on the keyboard right here, but that is pretty much it. Keyboard's in pretty good shape. It has a touchpad. Look at that. Or a trackpad, for those of you that like to call it like that. The 500 series were the first with trackpads. At least first Apple computers with trackpads, and I believe they were the first, if not one of the first, to introduce trackpads in laptops. Mouse button is considerably bigger than that on the Powerbook 100s, and it does away with the second mouse button that was on the 100s. I don't even know what those were useful for, but only time will tell me. Oh yeah, the one thing I forgot to tell you about. This machine sports a 25 MHz 68LCO40 microprocessor and 12 megabytes of installed memory. 12 megabytes of memory is really not great, especially since my 180 over there runs about 14 megabytes. So I would understand that these things probably can take quite a bit more than the 12 megabytes that is installed, but I don't have anything that I can install here, so I do have RAM Doubler 2 installed, so that will triple my memory, in fact. Oh my god, it's only RAM Doubler, but it's tripling my memory. You can see the hinges are different than that of the 180 as well. I mean, the button pushes down. You can see it was like that. This hinge is not in the greatest condition ever. It doesn't lock very well. You can also see the sleep indicator, which blinks when the machine is powered up. It doesn't stay on all the time. Did I mention the stereo speakers? I don't think I did. But those are pretty good sounding considering they're really tiny speakers. Oh, the one thing I forgot to tell you about. This thing sports a Motorola 68LCO40 microprocessor running at about 25 megahertz. Alright, enough jibber jabber. Let's power up the machine. Now, before I do, you will notice I'm wearing a glove. I'm doing this because this touchpad is really sensitive to sweat and other liquids. And my hands tend to get sweaty when I'm recording something. I don't know why. They just do. Don't question it. So let's go. Before I do, the one complaint I have about this machine is the display. You'll see why I have a complaint with the display when I power it up. Turn the light on so you can see the screen better. Look at that. Look at how dim that display looks. And look at all the lines that show up with the graphics. That is a result of the dual scan display. You can clearly see, actually if I turn the contrast up here, you can clearly see the dividing line. Well, I can. You can't see it on camera, but you might be able to just make it out. That light coloring in the O there, that is where the dividing line is. It's basically, with a dual scan display, you have two sections of the screen being driven at two different times. So what's really funny is that you can have half of the display fail. I've seen it before, and it's really funny. And that's right. For those of you that have watched my previous videos, I have 3 lines of extensions. It's not a good idea to have this many extensions running, because each extension loads up a little bit of the memory, so it's really not the greatest idea in the world to be running with all of those extensions. But then, when the machine is fully booted up, it's not even responding. Piece of junk. You'll notice there, the touchpad go haywire because my hands are either too sweaty or too dry. So, what are we going to do first? I'm not going to play Brickles Plus, and I am not going to play Glider. Why am I not going to do that? I always do that. But for those of you that haven't seen this machine before, it has Brickles Plus 3 and Glider Demo 406. That's what I'm talking about here. And I'm going to show you all the games that are installed here. Actually, I'll go close my door first. The display on this thing really sucks, to be totally and brutally honest with you. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to take a look at all of the games that are installed on this machine, and you will go ooh and ah when I show you. That's right. I have an entire folder filled with games and game files. Out here. I'm gonna play a new one. I'm gonna play Hotspot. Now, I've never played this before. I have no idea what to expect. Alright, so let me take a look at the help file. Command help. Oh, well, I didn't want to do that. Let's create a new game. Oh, where have I heard that before? How do I do this? Don't know if I know exactly how to do this. Oh, this is infuriating. Really pissing me off. Piece of shit. I don't like this game already. I haven't even started playing. Well, you suck. Okay, alright. You know what? Screw this. This is really annoying. And quit. No. Gee, one of the top 5 scores on the what? I didn't even do anything. Okay, let me enter my name here. I have absolutely no idea who that is. So I don't go bother, and you can probably look it up, but you'll get a bazillion different names. I don't know the last name. And oh yeah, that's another thing. This actually has a caps lock keyboard light. And I will do 2 more. I think I'll do Pizza Rush. I like that game. I'm gonna do full segments of these games, so not to worry. If you want to see the whole thing, me actually playing the game, is shareware. Please take the. Oh, remember shareware? It's a shareware game. I don't remember shareware at all. All right, so how the hell do you do this? All right, we're gonna go forward. Go sideways here. House number 2. It says, oh, boom. Whoops. Alright, let's try again. This is very difficult to do. If you drive into me, I will kill you. Oh, we're going to house number 1 now. If you... Go down! Oh, fuck. Okay. This is very difficult and very trying of my patience. Ugh. Now what? I'm at house number 1, am I not? Section 4-4. Well, I don't know what section I'm at, so... This game pisses me off. If you run into me, I will murder you. You know? hate it when cars do that. They run into you, they have no idea how to drive. Much like I have absolutely no idea how to drive here. Run into the side here. Is this the right house? No, why? Why the hell? What section am I going to? Piece of shit. Oh, I don't like that game at all. Really trying of my patience. Let's see. About Pizza Rush by Jim Mastro. A fanciful game of pizzas and points. It's really annoying, that's what it is. Please support shareware. Shut up. And quit. I do want to quit. Yes. And that's going to just about do it. Well, actually, first I'm going to talk a little bit about the display. You can see there when I start to run stuff that are these really weird lines and boxes and other miscellaneous things appear on the screen. It's got a really crappy refresh as well. So on some different screens you can actually see the in fact, let me try one here. Very adequate pattern. Yeah, there we go. Can you see it at all? The lines that are on the screen here, let me reboot the system, you might be able to see it better. Contrast back down to where it should be. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. What a piece of garbage. I mean, these passive matrix DSTN displays are total crap. Turn the contrast back up. It's like garbage. And you couldn't see, like up in that corner, it's washing out. As you get to the middle, it's not washing out, it's fine. But if you try to make these corners appear fine, you can't see anything in the middle. Well, that's no good, now is it? Anyways, so I'll shut this off in a second. And by the way, it's running macOS 7.5.5, if I didn't tell you. That's getting cut out. Can see then there's no battery. at all. Because those batteries are dead. Date and time is fine. Batteries are not. So let's shut it off here. Show you how fast this thing shuts down. Not as fast as my 180, but pretty quick. And that's going to do it for my video of the Macintosh Powerbook 520C. And that's going to do it for my video of the Macintosh Powerbook 520C. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. I hope to see you next time. Till then.